Hey folks, this is Sahira, and I think I am logging in live on Facebook. I have to admit, I'm using a brand new setup. I'm learning some things, and I hope it's working. It claims that it's working, but I am honestly not entirely positive because oh no, I looked kind of frozen there for a second. All right, let's try this again. Like I said, new setup. I get new technology, I get excited, I give it a try, we'll see if it works. I don't know. So if you are on Facebook, join me now for our edition of 30 to Thrive, 30 minutes of connection, inspiration, and dance coming to you live with this brand new, slightly precarious feeling setup. So fingers crossed that it all goes well. I am no technological whiz, but I do like to try new things, and so we'll see if it backfires on me tonight. Super excited to join you guys back on our Saturday setup after doing a couple of weeks of Friday due to other online commitments on Saturday. Luckily enough, I had two different performances, one last Saturday with my beautiful dancers, including Corinna, who just logged in. And then the Saturday before, I had the honor and the pleasure of dancing for Bahia's Save Our Studios event that was hosted out of Austin. And it was so much fun. Can I tell you that as much as the social distancing thing sucks in so many ways, and as much as it has been so hard not being with my girls in class, this cool connection and internet situation has been pretty magical. Like my students and I were all commenting on the fact that our family got to tune in to these performances from all over the world. We had people tune in to my student showcase last week from South America, which would have never happened before COVID. So if we're talking about silver linings, which we talked about a few weeks ago, I would say that this is definitely one. And I think part of the trick of moving forward from this, when we have the opportunity to move forward, will be trying to maintain and retain as many of the positive aspects, because believe it or not, there have been positive aspects, as many of the positive aspects as we possibly can. So I know for one, I have decided that all of my future student showcases will have someone on a computer in the corner of the stage broadcasting via Zoom for all of the friends and family who live out of state and just can't fly in for a student showcase, right? Because it was magical to know my mom was there, my dad was there, my mother-in-law was there, my stepbrothers were there, whom I have not seen in approximately 20 years, and they were there watching the show. And it was really cool. So I hope that you all are able to find these little moments of silver lining and appreciate them for what they are. And then what's going to be a huge challenge looking forward is how can we retain the positive that has happened in our lives? How can we retain that, whether it's the slowing down that has happened due to the quarantine, whether it be the closer connection with our family inside the home. Maybe it is connection with neighbors. I know I'm definitely closer to two neighbors on my street than I have ever been before because we just haven't wandered far during quarantine, and we have spent time with each other, and our kids have spent time with one another, and it's been fairly magical. So as you log in, I would love for you to type in the chat, where are you logging in from? And what's going on near you? I usually don't like to spend too much time talking about virus news in general because I actually don't consume that news because it does nothing but stress me out. So I've chosen to remove it from my daily media diet. But I did see a great headline today that Texas leads the country in uncontrolled COVID-19 outbreaks. So that's pretty exciting. I think part of that might be due to the fact that things have just opened right back up here. And according to everyone that I know who has ventured out and about, it looks like a regular day out there with people shoulder to shoulder waiting to get into a restaurant, no masks to be seen. So I'm telling you, I'm not going anywhere. If you're here in Houston or if you're in Texas, I plead with you, please maintain your distance and keep your mask on because it's too soon, too soon, too soon. End of report. How are things in Toronto, Asteria? I'm curious how things are in Canada. I was actually supposed to be in Canada in about 1 month. We just canceled all of our Airbnb reservations. I was going with another set of couples with their kids. I was so excited, and now I'm totally bummed to miss our Canada trip. But it is definitely staying there on my short list of places that I need to come and visit very soon. So I'm curious how things are going there in Canada for you all. Hopefully better than they are faring here in the great state of Texas. where no one's going to take our guns and no one's going to make us wear masks. Yeah, I think that's going to be our problem. That might be our downfall in the end. So today I want to talk a little bit about the results of what we talked about last week, the random acts of kindness. If you were here live with us last week, we talked about the beauty of random acts of kindness and the ability to use this to help focus our worries in a better direction, right? To stop looking at the problems in life and the things we are lacking, but focus our attention on things that we can do for others in our sphere. Now tell me, I know several of you did this, and I wanted to big shout outs to Cheryl and Jenny, Yuri and Kay and Jillian. I know all of you posted on my Facebook page about the beautiful acts of kindness that you all did this week, and several other folks as well. I don't know about you, but I actually found it to be a little challenging. This is an exercise that I have done several times in the past, but never while stuck in my house. And I found it a little bit more challenging to be randomly kind to people like remotely. Yeah. And so, I bought dinner for some neighbors who had recently experienced a death in their family. Today, we actually went and visited my husband's grandmother at her assisted living facility and sat outside the glass and talked on the phone with her. And it was sort of the most bittersweet thing. I think it brought her a lot of joy and a lot of sadness at the same time. And we were all in a kind of a weird emotional state leaving that. But it was a beautiful connection and a surprise for her and something for her to, and we told her about it, the day before that we were coming so she could look forward to it. And it was nice. But I'm curious, for those of you here with me live now, have you had the opportunity to do any random acts of kindness in your world over the last week or so? And if you haven't, would you like to, right? If we can continue to remain positive and uplift others, we will be uplifted together and all of humanity will be better for it, right? So continue to think about ways that you can make someone else's day brighter, even if it's just a small thing like a phone call or a card in the mail. I got a letter in the mail from my friend Natalie the other day, just thanking me for supporting her with something that she's doing online. And it felt so good. It just felt really good. And I'm hoping that it brought her joy to send me that letter as well. And so things to think about. I did want to say, well, thank you to all the folks who participated. A huge thank you to Jillian, who actually had put together a belly dance fundraiser to help feed her community. So she put on a remote online belly dance showcase, and all the proceeds went to feed people in her community who were lacking food during this epidemic. And I was just blown away. So huge congratulations and huge thank you to you, Jillian. And Jillian, if you happen to watch this, send me a note. I would love to gift you a month of my classes online as a huge thank you for doing what you have done, because I feel like that is so powerful and such a wonderful way to use our talents for good and not evil like we usually do, right? So thank you, Jillian, so much for that. Today we're going to be talking about how to stop feeling hopeless during the quarantine. And while I wouldn't use the word hopeless for how I have felt over the last 10 weeks, I definitely have had moments where it just seemed like this is going to be interminable and it is never going to end. It's been sort of like this Groundhog Day experience. Give me a thumbs up or a like in the chat if you have also felt a little Groundhog's Day-like over the past 10 weeks, 11 weeks and counting. Yeah, some days I wake up and I have had a beautiful dream and COVID is gone, and then I realize, oh damn, we're still here, right? And so I've been reading online with the Greater Good Science Center and talking about the study of happiness, and I did post that to my wall this week for those of you who are interested, different ways we can deal with that feeling of helplessness. Oh, I love it, Asteria. Your family is doing a once a week Zoom dinner from here and back home. So you're doing dinner with your family remotely. I love that idea. I do a once a week Zoom lunch with the ladies that I used to have lunch with every single Tuesday here in town. We just maintain our weekly lunch and we just do it over Zoom. So it's nice because we stay in touch that way. I think that's such a good idea. Anything that you can, any part of your routine that you can just bring online to continue to give you some sort of sense of normalcy, I think is such a blessing. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. So ways to stop feeling helpless during quarantine. And if any of you are feeling helpless, I get it. Like, I understand. It's very easy to feel helpless because there's a lot happening right now that is completely outside of our control, right? We search for facts, we search for answers to make us feel like there's something that we can do to ensure the safety of our loved ones, that we can do to ensure that our health remains good. And the truth of the matter is, right now, there's just not a lot of certainty in anything that's going on. And we don't know where things are going to be a week from now, 3 weeks from now, 2 months from now. And that can often engender feelings of hopelessness. And the way that it comes up is because oftentimes we attempt to control the things that we cannot control. And this is where we get into trouble. And so this is where we can start to sort of look at our reality, where it currently is, and start to understand what we have control of and what we don't have control of. And in my personal opinion, I have a lot less control than I usually did, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but that's where we are, and that's what we're dealing with, right? So how do we let go of the things that we don't have control of without feeling like we've just given up and have said, okay, fine, I can't control it, so I just give up? Because I know none of us are quitters, right? None of us are the type to just give up and lose hope, or else you wouldn't be here, right? So I think the thing that we have to do, the crux of it and what is most important, is to focus on what's happening right here, right now, right in front of you, that you have immediate, tangible control over. This is that classic day by day concept, right? Living the life one day at a time, being in the present, being in the now, and understanding that now is all that really matters. It's all that we really have control of. We can't focus on the past, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So if we can understand and focus on where we are at the moment, this is going to be a really positive thing for us, because it's going to give us back some control, and it's going to help us release the need to control the things that just aren't possibly in our control. So instead of spinning your wheels dwelling on what you cannot control, recognize the difference between the two and take action on what you can, right? So if you're in a situation and there's nothing that can be done about it, there's nothing, I cannot go out. Okay, well, I was gonna say, I cannot go out and like have dinner with my friends out at our favorite restaurant. I actually can, but I shouldn't. So in my mind, I cannot go out and have dinner with my friends at our favorite restaurant, right? And so instead of dwelling on that and feeling like I don't have control and being stressed out about that, let me think about what things I can take control of, right? I can make dinner at home and call a friend on Zoom and have that connection with them there. Are you feeling lonely? Reach out to someone. You can control that. Are you feeling worried about finances? Think about concrete actions, because this is huge for people right now. Review your budget, find places to cut. Talk to your credit card company, talk to your mortgage company. When you're taking concrete action, there is a feeling of empowerment. Even if sometimes you get no for an answer, or sometimes you don't get the answer you're looking for, you are making positive concrete steps daily towards solving a problem that you may have some control over, right? So if you don't have control over a situation, let it go, because putting your creative energy there is not going to be helpful. But if you do have control, even just a tiny smidgen of control, what can you do today to help you take a step forward, to help you start to troubleshoot that issue, right? If I am feeling stressed out, I've told myself this for years, and I need to learn to meditate. And I'm going to admit right now, I'm a terrible meditator. My brain is far too busy, so I'm the perfect candidate for meditation, right? So I've found for now, I do a moving yoga meditation. As long as I'm moving and concentrating on the body, I can sort of clear my mind and find that inner zen. I'm working on it, but it's really hard, folks. But if you can take positive steps and concrete action, you no longer need to feel quite so helpless and quite so out of control. So thinking about what you can do right now. Don't fret about the past. It's not going to help you. Don't worry about the future, even though that's a very popular activity right now. And I do it on a regular basis, because I'm like, ooh, what's going to happen now that everything's opened up here in Houston and the world has gone wild out and about, licking the doorknobs? Like, what is going to happen? I have no control over it. So I just have to breathe, and I just have to let it go. I want to offer you a resource. I just signed up for this fantastic online seminar that is completely free, 3 days streaming. It started yesterday, and then it's going to be archived, so you can watch it on demand at any time. another huge positive of this COVID pandemic is that all these great folks are creating all these amazing online trainings. So this one is the Never Alone Summit. It's neveralonesummit.live. It's put on in part by Deepak Chopra, so you know it's got to be good. Their tagline is elevate your mood, rebalance your thinking, and learn cutting-edge practices to build mental and emotional resilience. And I was like, amen, sign up. I will sign up for this. And I've listened to just a couple of snippets over the last few days, and there are dozens of speakers from a lot of different disciplines. So I feel like there's going to be something for everyone to gain something positive out of this incredible online summit. So this is the Never Alone Summit.live. If you get online, you can sign up and they'll give you access. It's on Facebook streaming, it's on YouTube streaming, and you'll be able to access all of it after the fact as well. So I highly recommend it. I have enjoyed what I have seen so far. So what I would like to do, because I really like that we've been doing a little bit of like active posting, right? So we talk about these ideas, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna think about it and say, yeah, that's a really good idea. And then you're gonna go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow and be fretful again. And this is not what I want, right? I want something positive and action-oriented to come out of this. So what I would like you to do is to post right now, or as soon as this video ends, or before you go to bed tonight at the latest. What are you going to do today, or if you're going to bed maybe tomorrow, to take some control of your reality, especially if you're feeling a little out of control, especially if you're feeling kind of helpless? What is one tiny action that you can do to help yourself, to help your loved ones, and take a little bit of control over a situation that feels oftentimes so out of control, right? And so for me, like I've been calling my parents more often. That makes me feel really good. Early on, I decided I am not going to consume the media right now because it's not going to do anything for me. And that has made a huge difference. That has made a gigantic difference. I'm going to spend some focused time bringing joy to my family because I want the memories of this moment for my 6-year-old to be something magical and not something devastating, right? And so all of those things keep fueling me, empowering me forward. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Can you join me on this? Can I get a thumbs up or a heart in the chat if that's something that you think you could do? Post one tiny little thing that you are going to do within the next 24 hours to gain a tiny smidgen of control over something in your life that maybe isn't feeling good to you right now, because you have control over only a certain amount of things. But so often we focus so much on those things we have no control of that we completely let go of the items that we could be nurturing and working on in our lives. Yeah, so I hope that you guys are with me on this one and we can do it together, because when I know that you're doing it, it makes me do it too. So I appreciate that. So that's it. End of soapbox for today, but now it's time to dance. So let us make some space. I'm gonna move my chair and let's dance. Today, I want to just do a little combination. So we'll do a little bit of technique. I'll put it together into a little combination. We'll put on some music and we'll dance it out. So if you haven't moved much today, do a little stretch, little cat-cow, little side to side, little forward fold, shake it out. If you haven't moved much, I think I haven't danced yet today, which is weird. I've been in front of my computer. We went in the car for a little bit, which is always an adventure because we haven't done that in a while. So make sure you get all the pops and cracks out. Here is what we are going to do today. We're going to do a little combination. We're going to start with some Egyptian downs. So I think about these as in releve, so I'm up on our heels, and I'm pushing one hip down and then the other. A little tick-tock of the hips, pushing down on the standing leg, right? So this is something that's new to you. It's a little funky because it's like the opposite of walking. When we step on one foot and we walk, our hip goes up. But this combination, we're going to go down. So I'm thinking about bending the knee slightly, elongating in that hip and pushing down on the side where I'm stepping. So we're going to be using this movement, and we're going to be doing 3 or 4 of those. Once the music comes on, I will let us know exactly how that's going to work. And from here, we're going to go into a figure 8 with a jewel, which you might remember we did a few weeks ago on one of these lives, right? Figure 8 front to back with a twist, twist. Figure 8 front to back with a twist, twist. I'm doing a fairly wide stance, pushing onto one foot, taking that hip, scooping it front to back, and as I get to the back, I twist back in front, right? So just a simple twist, twist. So if we go down, 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 then we twist on one side and the other. Then we go down, 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 twist on one side. So if you do 3 downs, this should switch sides each time. I twist on one side and then the other. So if I'm mirroring you, it's right, right, twist on your left, twist on your right, then you're going left, left, twist on the right, figure 8 and twist, yeah? So 3 downs in releve. Get gooey, bend the knees, flat foot, yeah? 3 downs in releve. I see my beautiful Zoom dancers. You guys look amazing. 3 downs in releve. Figure 8 twist. Figure 8 twist. I'm taking it to a little bit of an angle to make it more dynamic and interesting. Let's do that one more time. And figure 8 twist. Figure 8 twist. Another little piece of the puzzle that we'll put in. I'm going to be doing 2 inner hip rolls. So I'm using my foot and pushing off of my heel to inner hip roll on the side. So it's like a little bit of a circle in the hip, pushing out of the floor, pushing the heel up, and using the oblique to squeeze up and in, squeeze up and in, and switch. So I'm using, say, your left foot to push you to the right, and then reverse right foot to push you to the left if I'm mirroring you. Yeah, inner hip roll, good. Really push out of the floor, use the heel to push. Let's do one more like that. From here, we're gonna do a little undulation that changes angle. So this is undulation top to bottom, chest up, down, pelvic tuck release, up, down, pelvic tuck release. Undulation up to bottom. I am changing angle just to make it dynamic and make it look different side to side. And then if you would like, for a little added challenge and a little added texture, adding a little shimmy, but not a fast one, just a loose, gooey, wobbly shimmy. Up to down, and if you want to make it even more challenging because you're that kind of person, I respect you, that's awesome, you can let the foot release and keep that little shimmy going, which means at one point you're going to be shimmying on one leg. Good, so when we put that together, it's going to be inner hip roll, undulate, undulate, other side, inner hip roll, undulate, undulate. Do it again, inner hip roll, undulate, undulate, one more, inner hip roll, undulate, undulate. Yeah, and we'll go back and forth between those 2 combinations once I put on this music. Feel free to do it at your own pace, or feel free to follow me. Today, we're going to be using Lauren Cecchio's, who are we using today? We are using David Maseka's music from Poi Forgaggi. This is a great track, The Walking Maksum. Let's get this going. Turn it up a little bit here for you all. Okay. Here we go. If we start with those down, 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 figure 8, down, 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 figure 8 jewel, yes. Releve and nice and low. Think high center of gravity and low to give it dynamic, yes? Up, here with those downs, up with your downs and down with your figure 8s, yeah? Don't forget to breathe. Down, 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 arms are dancer's choice. I'm doing a little bit of a heart here, yeah, and pushing with the arms open in second. Nice. Figure 8. Let's do it 2 more times. Good. Now we'll do those inner hip rolls. Inner hip roll, undulate with that shimmy. Inner hip roll, Good. Don't forget to smile. Good. Inner hip roll. Good. Let's do it a couple more times. All right, let's take it back to those downs right here. Here we go. Down, down, down. Figure 8. Down, down, down. Nice. Make those downs nice and sharp. Bam, bam, bam. Gooey and gooey. Gooey and gooey. And strike a pose. Fabulous. Nice job, I can tell. I can see my ladies on Zoom. You all rocked it. It looked amazing. And I can see through the Facebook to see you all there dancing with me, and it makes me so happy. It always makes me a little out of breath too. So now I'm going to thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for giving me this moment for connection. Thank you so much for allowing me to remember what day of the week it is, because I know on Saturdays I meet with you all and it keeps my days from all running together. Thank you for helping inspire me to live a better, more positive life, because I want to lead by example. So while we're thinking about these concrete tasks, these things that we can do to help us regain a little bit of control in our lives, I'm going to be thinking about it alongside you. And I would love, love, love for you to share anything that you come up with in the chat here beneath the video. And I see all these other messages coming in that I did not see previously. Yay. So post if you can. I understand if you don't get around to it, but I would love it, because I think there's something positive about sharing your positivity with the world. It helps to inspire others. It helps to inspire me. And I feel like we can all rise up together this way. I love it, Denise. Not very good on posting. Not watching politics and news has been helping to keep you sane. I am with you, sister. Oh man, I can't do it. I don't even like when my husband tells me about it. Anytime he comes up to me, he says, "Did you hear what Trump?" I say, "No." Do I need to know? Is it going to enhance my life in any way? Is it going to affect our family directly? Then don't tell me. I said, I don't want to know. Thank you very much. So I'm glad that I'm not the only one there. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do take a moment in the next 24 hours, if you have not already. Post what small thing are you going to do to help you find a little bit of control in a situation that often feels very out of control. Do not feel helpless. Find the things that you do affect and focus on those one day at a time. And to the things that you have no control over, i.e. this crazy virus, just let it go, because there's nothing that we can do, and it is not worth taking our time to focus on that. Yes, stopping for breathing exercises is huge. Remembering what's important. I actually had a little movie night last night, and we watched Coco. Gosh, you want to talk about remembering what feels important, what's important in life. I cry every time I see that movie, and I think, family, right? It's all about family. Do the usual of letting people vent at work and trying to make them laugh. I love you, Wendy. I love you, Wendy here, and I love you, Wendy there. That's awesome. Yes, because making people laugh is an incredible skill, and it's something that releases tension and gives everybody a much brighter day. You guys are amazing. Get out of the office to enjoy the sunlight. Yes, Christine, that's such a great idea. You guys are on the right track. This is really good stuff. Keep posting it. Feel free to post throughout the week. I will try to do so as well, as I take concrete actions to create more joy and more control in my life. And we will be back here next Saturday at 7 o'clock for another edition of 30 to Thrive. If there's anything that you want to talk about, is there anything that you are craving, I invite you to reach out and let me know. I'm actually toying with the idea of making some of these sort of more conversations less like, here is the things I have learned and would like to impart to you, but more of a, can you give me some advice on some problems I'm having, and we can all brainstorm together. So if you have some things you're working through that you would like to be a topic here that you think other people would benefit from, please do not hesitate to reach out and contact me. I would love the interaction, and I love the opportunity to be a part of your world. Craving, yes, like chocolate. Next week, we will do 30 to Thrive with chocolate, because chocolate makes everything better. Thank you all so much. You have a wonderful evening. Take care, and I will see you next week. Mwah! Happy dancing.